Hello, I'd like to welcome you to my home. You may see that there are 5 women here and we're all dressed in pink, and there's a reason for that. It's because today is October the 1st, but it is also the beginning of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So in 2023, breast cancer struck our WOW Real Estate family and also my personal family. So we've gathered here today to hopefully encourage you if you're someone who's been diagnosed. And if you haven't and you've put off mammograms, we're here to encourage you to go get your mammogram screening done. So statistics show that 1 out of 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime, and mammograms are our best means of protection. So we're going to go through, I'm going to introduce you to these 4 women, and then we're going to hear a little bit about their story through breast cancer. This is Jennifer Presley, who I finally refer to as my work wife. We work together. She's our broker at WOW Real Estate. This is my mom, Shelby. She is, Anna Champagne, who is also one of our agents at WOW Real Estate, and Robin Cousins, who is one of our agents. So we're just going to hear their stories. So Robin, yours is a little different because you never were diagnosed with breast cancer. So can you just share with us what your journeys look like?
So my journey started, I guess, when my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer in her early 50s. Fast forward, all of her aunts and uncles died of some sort of cancer, and there were like 13 that died in her family.
Wow.
So when BRAC came about, I have a cousin in Denver who's a nurse, and she had genetic counseling, and she was diagnosed with BRAC. So that meant it was most likely in my mother's family because her dad didn't have cancer in his family.
So BRAC being the gene.
The breast cancer gene. So when we went for genetic counseling, they said my mother needed to be tested first because if she didn't have it, then I wouldn't have it. So my mom did test positive, and so my siblings and I all tested positive as well after she was tested positive. So this was in 2010. So I had my genetic counseling in January of 2011, and I had a double mastectomy in May of 2011.
And how old were you?
I was
Do the math.
68. So I was 40. I don't know, 40 in my early 40s. I was young, but I'd already had my 4 children. I had already breastfed, and in the counseling, and it's just up to the person's. My sister did not have a double mastectomy. It just depends on what you want to do. It is ovarian cancer as well, so I did have my ovaries removed that following September. So mine was just preventative. I mean, I felt like I fell on the bad side of, like, it was 50-50 chance I would be BRAC positive.
Yeah.
And I felt like I fell on the bad side of that gamble. And I believe the statistics were if you are BRAC positive, you have an 80% chance in your life of being, and it has gone up since then.
Wow.
So, if you have, and I don't know what the testing requirements are for insurance now. Back then they were a little different because it has been a good time ago. So I don't know what has happened with that now, but I just encourage anybody to get the genetic counseling.
Absolutely.
If you have it run rampant in your family.
Right. Wow.
So that's my story.
What I'm interested. What did it decrease your chances to after the double mastectomy?
Oh, breast cancer almost to 0.
0. Okay. Okay.
Almost to 0. And then my mother did pass away with acute myeloid leukemia. So, in looking that up, that really didn't fall under the BRAC gene, but anything you can do, I think.
It's so good to know. And then you have 3 daughters.
Yep.
So,
And a son, and it travels through the males as well.
Wow. Yeah, so really good that you know that.
So the doctor just said, or the counselor said, for the girls, to really let them live their life, have their babies, and then address it.
Yeah.
That was the counseling in 2011. And I don't really know that that's changed, but that's what I've just encouraged my girls to just wait until they have babies and then address it.
That's awesome. I mean, that's awesome that you knew that we have that means of finding out now.
Absolutely.
Anna?
So my story is a bit different. I do have a strong family history of cancer, all different kinds, but there is a lot of breast cancer. And found mine on a mammogram. And I had a great team of doctors who said, let's take the bull by the horns. I had a lumpectomy. And after the lumpectomy, it was determined that I had a genetic mutation also. Mine is not BRCA, mine is called PALB2. And in doing the research on PALB2, it was founded, or whatever, for lack of another word, in 2014. So it's a relatively new genetic test, and that's what I have. And after that, they put me on a fast track and said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a double mastectomy. We're going to do a radical hysterectomy to lessen my chances, because it is, you know, it's scary when they say your body is genetically predisposed to have cancer.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had everything done that I can possibly do to keep that from cropping back up. And I tell you, I'm the poster child. I had the greatest story. I had the greatest team of doctors. I stayed in Florence, which is a little bit, you know, a lot of people say, you know, go to a specialist somewhere. But my people rallied around me, my surgeon, my plastic surgeon, my anesthesiologist, the most fabulous team, never felt an ounce of pain. Great story. So I had a lumpectomy, mastectomy, hysterectomy, and reconstruction. I had 4 surgeries within the year and left smiling because I had a great, great, great story. So the moral of that is, it's no big deal. Get your mammogram.
Right.
Get your mammogram.
Never an ounce of pain. I feel good.
And I mean, I know people say, I don't want to have a mammogram because it hurts.
It hurts.
Well, for a second.
Yeah.
Come on, girls, we have babies.
Yeah.
You can have a mammogram.
Yeah.
So how are you doing today?
I am great. No problems at all. I feel like I've got the work, you know, it's all behind me. And we've laughed this morning because I can't remember. I don't remember anything about.
Well, 4 surgeries in 1 year. I mean, that's hard.
Yeah.
You
I think it
probably
affected my brain
You were
a little bit more
in
than my body.
anesthesia coma.
I know.
Fog.
I know.
All year.
But I feel great. I like I said, my story is an easy one, and I'm so thankful. And then, you know, like Robin said, now we've, you know, got the PALB2, so I am going to be vigilant. I'm one of the lucky ones because in December I get a whole body CAT scan, so they're gonna, you know, insurance pays for that now.
Yeah.
So I consider myself very lucky,
fortunate.
very lucky. And again, my children also have to be tested. So we're gonna cross that bridge a little bit later when they can wrap their mind around what needs to be done.
That's great.
When they're a little bit older. So
Thank you.
yeah, great story.
Doing good.
Two wins. Two
Yes,
wins.
2
Yeah.
wins.
All right, Mom.
Okay, nobody in my family had breast cancer. I mean, there was like my mother and like 7 sisters. Nobody had ever had breast cancer. So they found when I had a mammogram several years back, maybe 4 or 5, at OBGYN. Now this was before the new mammogram equipment, so that's what we gotta be so thankful for, our new machines.
Oh, absolutely.
Because that found it. So many women in 23 was diagnosed with breast cancer that they had never seen before in there. They had missed it.
Yeah.
So I even was told that I had breast cancer and went for a biopsy, and they could not find anything to biopsy.
Oh God. Yeah,
This
they
was
came out.
what,
She
about
came out.
40
I said, "How was it?" And she said, "Well, they didn't do
They
anything.
didn't do
find it."
anything. They
Yeah.
couldn't find it. So, but I kept getting my yearly mammograms, and I mean, I want every woman in the world to do that because, especially now that we have the great new machines, and they found a little spot, and the radiologist biopsied it, and it was cancer. So I had a wonderful surgeon that took care of that, as you know.
I think we all use the same
Same
surgeon.
guy.
Oh man.
Same guy. And Mom, yours was a little different.
Yeah.
You had something that was like a mucus ball
Uh-huh.
that they took out that was super slow
Slow
growing,
growing.
non-aggressive.
Yes.
So she
And I
just
think it had been there. I think they had seen that years before.
perhaps, yeah.
and we didn't do anything about it. So,
Yeah.
but
Very
I'm
lucky.
just so thankful that it's gone. They took out about this much flesh that leaves you a little bit lopsided. But that does not matter anymore.
No,
no.
Even at 87, yes.
You can curl up enough loose skin to take care of
Well,
that.
and you just said that. That's something to bring out. She's 87. I mean,
Yeah.
does she not look amazing? Number
Yeah.
one, but I mean, to have gone through that at 87. So
Yeah.
Oh,
that's-
listen, and I'm like Anna,
Mhm.
you can hardly remember.
I
all
know,
that.
I know.
Yeah.
It's in the
I
rear
think
view mirror.
It did cause, I don't know if it was the surgery or they made me supposedly get off my estrogen, but I still take a tiny bit.
I don't blame you.
And
Disclaimer.
the doctors couldn't tell me it was okay, but they couldn't tell me not
Yep.
to do it.
Yep.
But we will
So-
say, because she's been taking that little estrogen for a 40-plus years, she got the bones of an 18-year-old.
I
So-
did, really. Really. That's
Yeah.
what they told me. And my bone leaking. So,
So you're
I
doing
feel
great.
wonderful, and I'm just going with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Keep going.
So
with
y'all
it.
just keep up with me.
That's right,
I
that's
go all day long. I rarely sit down. If it is, it's at the computer or
Yeah.
doing something else with
Mhm.
my brain, and I feel great.
Good for you.
Good.
I
That's all
just
great.
want every woman to go get your yearly mammogram.
Absolutely.
Don't ever stop. I
Absolutely.
don't care how old you are. You know,
Press on. That's right. All right, Jennifer.
Well, I'm Jennifer. Well, didn't as everybody else here, I didn't think I'd probably be sitting here even having this conversation. Nobody wants to have cancer, but I went last spring and got my mammogram, just normal mammogram. Came back inconclusive. They called me back in to do a compression magnification mammogram. Excuse me. It showed that I had some fresh, which who knows about all this stuff, but fresh calcifications. I do remember this. I don't know why, because I think it was so interesting. But so that I had some fresh calcifications. I cannot talk plain. And the radiologist was just like, hey, let's just biopsy it. It's probably nothing, but let's just that's a symptom sometimes of something going on. So we went in the next day, did the biopsy. Still, he was like, I really don't think it's anything. And I remember I had a wedding that night, and I went to the next day, went to the wedding, and I was like, oh, like a weight has just been lifted off of me. I think I'm good. And then Monday, and it's weird how kind of like 9/11, you remember where you were. I was in Sam's Club, got a phone call from a radiologist friend of mine, which was incredibly sweet and such a God thing for me, that he called me and said, hey, you have what's called DCIS, and it's ductal carcinoma in situ, which if you're going to have breast cancer, they say it's the best.
Yeah.
I was stage 0, so I'm going to just mimic what they're saying. Mammograms are so worth it. I mean, it's 30 minutes of your day one time a year. Go get them done, because had I not had, I mean, my mammogram found mine. Mine was still in the duct. It was cancer cells that were not even together yet. Like, I didn't have a tumor, I didn't have a lump, I didn't have anything that they would have found. Had the radiologist not seen those calcifications, we wouldn't have skipped a beat. So I had a lumpectomy, same doctor, which we love our surgeon here. Stayed here local in Florence. Oncologist is here. I did do 20 radiation treatments. Again, I did them locally. Feel like I had amazing care, and wow, just, I'm happy to be done with it and be through it and be on the other side of it. And I actually feel really good, other than the stupid hormone blocker I have to take, which you feel me, Anna. Life's pretty good. It's good.
Yeah.
God is good. I mean, just in everything. But
And your genetics came back clear. No.
well, yeah, that's a whole nother story. So the first thing I did was went and had my genetics testing done. Ironically enough, my my nurse practitioner at my OBGYN had cancer the year before, so she was super proactive. So when she got the mammogram back, she said, hey, you got to come in and get the genetic testing. And something happened with my genetic testing, and it took forever. So we kept waiting and waiting, because I wasn't going to have the surgery, because we didn't know if we were going to lumpectomy or mastectomy or whatever. So we went ahead and my surgeon said, hey, we need to go and do this. So we did it. We did the surgery without me knowing, but my genetic testing came in while I was in surgery. Yes, my family's all sitting out in the waiting room. The nurse practitioner walked it down. Their building is super close. And I didn't know when I came out if I was going to have my breast or if I was just going to have a lumpectomy. So when I got into recovery, I can kind of sort of fuzzy remember looking at the nurse and she was like, wake up, hey, welcome back. And I was like, are they still there?
You're like,
Yeah. And she said, yeah, you're good, just a lumpectomy. And so then when I saw my family after I got out of recovery, they said your genetic testing came back, so I don't have a gene and I don't have any history.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Right.
cool story.
Very good story. And you know, the thing to remember is they're all doing great today. 4 women, 4 stories. I will tell you this. So Anna was diagnosed what month?
Were
was
you
like
February, March. Yeah,
February, March.
Mhm.
Jennifer was like
I was March, April.
March, April. My mom was 2 weeks after her. And then in April, I had to go get my mammogram. And I'm going to tell you, I was terrified.
She was
terrified.
terrified.
I was having panic attacks about it. But I would have had a way bigger panic attack had I not gone.
Oh,
and
yeah.
done it.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad. And there are ways to get them. In October, there are places. I know that Helen Keller Hospital is offering $40 mammogram screenings on Wednesdays in the month of October. I think Nancy probably offers something. But also, we are having a breast cancer fundraiser at Wow Real Estate on October the 15th from 5 to 8 p.m. We're going to have a food truck and desserts and raffling off baskets and
Live music.
live music. All of the funds that we raise are going to go to local breast cancer or maybe even another cancer. I mean, people who are struggling with cancer care and treatments. And you know, health care is one of the biggest reasons that people go into bankruptcy because it just will drain
Mhm.
your bank account
Right.
fast. So get your mammograms, make the call. Do not be afraid. You are more than welcome to reach out to any of us if you have more questions or things that you're just worried about. And you know what? When you hear the word cancer,
Scary.
Yeah,
Mhm.
very.
it's pretty scary. Your brain can go from A to Z really fast. A lot of emotions. And, you know, we just want you to know they're all normal.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah.
Sheila, the kind of cancer I had, it's not hereditary or anything, is it?
No, they didn't even want you to do genetic testing.
Okay, that's right. I don't even know what y'all talking
Well,
about.
lucky you.
I didn't have it.
You didn't have to get poked.
No, she didn't have to do radiation or anything. They were like, yeah, we're just going to take it out. You're good.
Honey, I've had all kinds of surgeries that you'd think of. I
She
don't
been
have a lot of
open
parts left. That's why I don't have any bad stories to tell,
Yeah.
because I don't have any anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think it does get in your headspace. I mean, do y'all not agree? Kind of gets in your
completely.
headspace. I mean, even if you haven't had cancer, but your family history and you think of your kids and
It's terrifying.
just the word, the big C
Yeah.
word, the
Yeah.
taboo word out there.
And they say if you dwell on like a certain kind of cancer, like okay, well, my mama had colon cancer, so that's what strikes my brain, and
Oh,
if
yeah.
I dwell on that, I try not to think about it because I think if I dwell on it, you're more likely to get it.
And I remember about you when you went in to get your mammogram. I was on the phone with you, and you were like, "Oh, I'm going back in here to get my mammogram, but it's nothing. I'm all good. Everything's fine."
I get a wonky one
And I was
everywhere.
going out of town, and so yeah. And then I called. Sheila sends me a text, and she's like, Anna found out that she has breast cancer, and I was like, "What? I just talked to her." And I remember I called you, and you're like, "Yeah."
You never know. You never know.
Yeah, and now
Right.
even in Florence, I mean, we have a great breast cancer center here. It's
Oh, I'm
it's
telling
super
you.
impressive, and they are also doing. Most women over the age of 40 have dense breasts, and you know,
Yes.
on your mammogram, it will tell you
Mhm.
that. But they have a dense breast ultrasound that I've done a couple times. That you know, it's just all the stuff that we can do preventative now. And if you find out, the good news is you're finding out super early.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was just at the cancer center the 19th, and my blood works good, no lumps.
No lumps, no bumps.
No lumps.
Yeah.
I love
But
Dr.
little
Kingsley.
lopsided, but no lumps.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
There's things to fix that.
And who cares if you don't?
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Or your cardigan.
Well, thank you. Thank all of you for coming and being a little vulnerable and sharing a story that you wish you had never had to share.
Yeah.
But you did, and hopefully you will pass it on to someone else that
Mhm.
will be encouraged and spur them on to go get screened.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
Very important.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Hope that this was good for you.
Bye.